Hi, this is Jim with InStuffMusic.com, and we're here today to talk about the Roommate from T-Rex. Now what the Roommate is it's a tube reverb pedal, and it can emulate everything from classic spring reverb sounds to more modern concert and even kind of slightly digital reverb sounds if you want to get that sound. Now let's look at the controls. There's a lot of switches and dials on this pedal, but it's actually quite simple to use. The mix control controls the amount of reverb on your signal. It's the wet-dry control. The level control controls the level of signal coming out of the pedal. The decay controls the trail length time for the reverb. So if you have a spring reverb and you set the decay low, you get a short spring reverb, like that. And if you turn the decay up, you get a longer type of reverb, like this. You can clearly hear the difference there. The mode control controls the 4 modes of the pedal. You can do a spring reverb, a room reverb, a hall reverb, which gives you kind of a big concert hall type reverb, and LFO, which is a mixture of reverb and chorus. Sounds really good on acoustic guitar, actually, but certainly sounds very good on electric, too. The high cut allows you to cut the high range frequencies off. So if you turn the high cut all the way down, it's going to give you a more vintage, a darker sound on the reverb. And the more you turn it up, the brighter your reverb is going to get. So real quick, high cut all the way down. I'll keep it on spring. High cut all the way up. A little brighter there. Room. High cut all the way up. High cut all the way down. Finally, the gain control, that controls the gain signal coming into the pedal. So if you're running this pedal, for example, in the effects loop, and the signal from your amp is really loud, it can overdrive the reverb, which sometimes you want that sound, but usually you don't. So if the input signal is a little too hot, you can turn the gain down. Also, if you're running this pedal at the end of a long signal chain, if you have a bunch of other pedals on your pedal board in front of this, and it's getting really loud on the front end, you can manipulate the gain control to kind of clean things up a little bit. Okay, so let's get some sounds with this pedal and see what it sounds like. Okay, now, as you can see, I'm playing a Gibson Les Paul. It's a reissue of 58 Les Paul from their custom shop. It's an absolutely gorgeous guitar, sounds great. Playing this through a Fender DeVille amp. Amp set up totally clean. EQ controls are relatively flat. No reverb coming from the amp, so let's get a reference tone in the neck, in the middle, in the bridge. Okay, so there we go. Now, the first sound I have here is a short spring reverb sound. I have the mix control at about 12 o'clock. And I have the high cut turned down, so I'm really going for that vintage sound. Let's give it a listen. Okay, that's spring. Let's get a room reverb sound going. I'm going to turn the mix level up a little bit. I'm going to put the decay at about noon. Turn the high cut back to about noon. Here's what that sounds like. reverb. Again, I'm going to keep everything at about noon. I'm going to turn the mix up a little bit. I'm going to turn the decay up a little bit. Have both those controls at about 2 o'clock now. Keep the level at about 1 o'clock. See if we can open it up a little bit, get a bigger, more spacious reverb sound. Yeah, that's really big now. Finally, the LFO. I'm going to turn the mix up all the way, kind of accentuate this. As you can hear, the reverb has a bit of modulation to it. Okay, a couple last notes about the pedal. Has a tube right in the middle of it there, you can see it. Heavy duty metal construction, nice heavy duty on-off switch, and this pedal also runs on its own power supply. It's 12 volts. So that's the T-Rex Roommate.